record another. That was weird. All right, I'm back. And this is part 2 to my last video. So this is going to be another segment. And it's currently 1/1/2025, 3:04 p.m. It's the first of the new year. And if you didn't get to see my last video, I recommend checking that out. Let me just fix my screen so y'all can actually see my face. And yeah, I'm going to get back into the Forex tester. I'm going to go on to the next day because the prior day we didn't get any trades. And that's because there was not a trading environment. The context was off. There was a lot of chop. There was a lot of grind. I broke it all down. So check the last video for those updates. So right now you can see I haven't modified anything. The balance is still the same from the last video. And I'm going to go into the next day so you can see everything over again, but I'm going to do it faster and I'm going to just speed things up. So the last video was an intro. This video is going to be much quicker and faster pace. So we are on a 3-minute chart. I'm going to go back to the 4-hour. You can see all those notes, beautiful trades taken. So 23, 3:59. Now we're on Friday, the last day of the week. You can see the date at the bottom of the screen. And I did switch locations. I'm in my home office now. Move the bar forward again. Tokyo session, China lunch, London open, US open. So I know all the session starts and I know what time of the day I'm in, and that's very useful, very helpful. I do have a indicator on my website that's a sessions tool. You can use it whenever you're about to start trading to know what session you're in. You can join the VIP members. There's going to be a big green button at the top of my website, and you click on that and you join the VIP membership in order to see that. So I just wanted to show y'all everything is done in real time. And let's get on to the 3-minute chart now. So back to the y-axis. I want to just make sure the y-axis is fine. See, it's about 82 pips, so that's a little bit bigger than average. Let me fix that in just a moment. I want to mark off the daily highs and lows like I did in the last video. Just the array. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to make a fresh array later. Mark off the daily lows from 7 a.m. We can see that's dropped down a little bit at the start of the market open. Yeah, these were about daily lows. I'm marking off the daily lows and highs. I'm going to assess the y-axis right now. Make sure it's about 60 to 70 pips. It's 118, way too large. You can see the price action does look a lot different depending on the amount of pips you're looking at. The bars do expand and contract. They are the same size, but the movement looks way different if you don't have it on the daily average. So it's very important to make sure you're putting that y-axis on the daily average. I'm going to put the vertical line tool down now to mark off the start of my session. And I'm going to mark that right now. Boom, bang. And that's it. So you see my session start. I'm going to break down the past few hours from London open up until the end of London lunch and just assess to see how were conditions prior to my trading start. So this is 16 o'clock right here, which is about 4:00 a.m. US time, New York time. And I'm just going to break down a price action, see if my strategy has been working and if it's been a choppy, grindy context, if there's any red flags, and if it's even a favorable condition to determine if I should trade, not trade, or trade more aggressive or conservative for the day. So I do all of this in the pre-market. The chart screen is paused right now, but I will press that big blue button in the left corner. You may not be able to see it because my face is blocking it on the recording, but there's a resume button I'm going to press shortly to drink a little bit of my matcha. I just got my day started like a couple hours ago, so started a little bit late out here. New Year's, stood a little bit late last night. All right, so we can see, looking for my strategies that I trade. It's a TC North, TC South. I do implement the RB North and RT Souths as well, but that's going to be advance. I discussed that later on down the line for those of you that want to understand what that is, but it's my own implementation of a trend continuation. It's just the way I learned how to read trend continuations. That's why I say my strategies. I learned how to read trends, and I was mentored by really, really great professionals in the past. And I just have my own twist to understanding things and my own ways and my own rules. That's why no strategy is the same as one person. Like, everyone has their own interpretation of price action, and therefore you can't say, oh, this is the same strategy someone else is using. Everyone trades trend continuations. If you're trading with the trend, it's just a variation of how you trade it. So if you're trading higher highs and higher lows, lower highs and lower lows, that you're trading a trend continuation. But it's just everyone has their own rules and criteria, and I just want to just make that clear distinction before I start trading. So now y'all understand. I'm looking for those of you that work with me. You understand, I look for a 2-bar pause or pullback prior to my entry, and this is the first one right here. That one happened about 15:15. That's a little bit too early. I'm looking for 16 o'clock. So right here, London open. Coming into the session, it was a bit choppy, was a bit grindy. We're in a little bit of a range, so I'm waiting for that range to be broken. Price comes on down here. Has a little pullback, trigger, fails right there. DP South happened right around 16:45. That would have been the first trade. Stop loss would have been about 6.5 pips. Target would have been looking for 13 pips, which would have been way down here, but it didn't hit. Would have been trailed out around 1 pip, and that's close to break even. So then looking at the next trade, that stop loss a little bit large, probably would have skipped it, but that was a TC South. Like I said, I'm not explaining too much. Yeah, I would have probably took that one too. That one is about 6.4 pips. So going for about 1 R to 1.5 R would have been, and my stop loss would have been up here about 7.5 pips. So going for about 7.5, it would have hit that 1 R target to the T. Okay, a little pullback right here, another trigger, TC South. So right now, one trigger has worked out. One trigger has went to break even. So far, it's a solid context coming into the market. I'm seeing a little pullback right here. Price finally triggers. I'm going to measure that. 5 pips plus a spread and slippage, about 6.5 pips. Going for about, looks like this dropped a solid 10 pips. So going for about 1.5 R. It only goes about 8.4 pips. So if I'm going for like 10, it would have trailed me out right here at 3.5. So that's about a 0.5 R target profit. Then there's another entry right after that. So that was solid. It worked out partially. 6.5 pip stop loss again, going for 13 pips. Looks like it hit 12.4. Probably would have trailed that aggressively right around 8. So that hit 1.5 R. There's another clean pullback right here. There's a trigger. Stop loss would have been about 4.4 pips plus a spread, about 5.56 pips, going for about 2 R. Would have got close to that, probably would have trailed out right around 8 pips, 5 to 8 pips. So everything's working. That's very good context. And then we have lunchtime. Basically from 19 o'clock until 20 o'clock is the London lunch. And just like US lunch, I don't like to trade that nor look at the PA. So up until London lunch, I can see that the context has been pretty fair today. Price action has been working out about 90% of the time. Very good PA compared to yesterday. If you looked at my video yesterday, you see it was choppy, grindy. Today is much different. Now you can understand what I mean by read the pre-market context. So this trading journal entry that I'm posting right now is probably going to be the most important one out of the recent ones that I posted on my website. Link is down below in the description. Let me just make sure this is still recording. Yes, we're still recording. Let's click on that. And yeah, you're able to just see everything. So when I write this article later, you can see that it corresponds with the video that I'm recording. And everything that I say is valid if you know my strategies or if you work with me and I'm coaching you right now, I'm not coaching many students because I'm not that popular right now. But those of you that did take that chance and that did look into working with me, I appreciate y'all. Y'all are seeing the transparency. I love to share everything I do. I don't hide nothing. There's no reason. It's a community. We're building each other up. And there's no secret. Like, we're all in this together, and there's plenty of profits to be shared. So the market is abundant in opportunity, and there's no secret sauce strategy. It's just the way I'm trading. I'm sharing it with y'all. You understand everything that I'm doing. So looks like price came close to daily lows, and we're currently in that US session. So that first TC South failed coming into the session, and we have a DP South happening right now. Stop loss would be about 4.5 pips. So I'm gonna press this play button now, and I'm gonna resume. I'm gonna have my Forex speed up tool. So I like to have this little one-click trading. You're gonna be able to see it right here in just a moment. Go, and it just basically helps me press buttons on the fly. So you can see I can set my stop loss. That's at 7.8 pips. So that's 7 pips. Target is at 15. So that's 2R. And just whenever I'm ready to trade, like if I want to take that sell, I don't like trading right on the open, but that would have been a quick press to sell, and my stop loss is right above, my entries entered, and my target's already set. And I could always drag them around and modify it too. So I love using this. This is the software I'm using is Forex Tester 5. On my website, I will have a link so you can actually get a bonus. I believe it's like 50% off right now if you use my code. So I'm going to include that on the website sometime this week. Stay tuned for that. But that would have failed. And I'm going to mark off immediately that we are currently in a range. So as you can see, as price is happening, I'm going to just assess everything. So this was the higher end of that range. And I'm going to drag array, duplicate that, mark off the lows of that right there. And yeah, we're in the price range. Also checking to make sure that there's no high impact news that's affecting my currency for the day. We can see, move that out the way. There's some new US news, but it's low impact, so that's totally fine. It's Friday. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. And this is time, every bar is 3 minutes. So this is a time where I'm just gonna be waiting, and I'm not gonna touch anything unless the highs of this range is broken and we have a pullback trigger coming on outside of it, or the highs is breached and we have a pullback trigger coming inside of it, which indicates a reversal back into the range, or the same happens at the downside. So that's all I'm looking for. I can also look for RT South back toward the lower end because we are predominantly bearish in this range. So that's what I'm looking for. If I don't get any of that, I'm sitting on my hands. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm just making sure that the range is large enough for me to trade. You can see it's about 24 pips right now, 24, 25 pips, give or take. It's totally fine. So this is my own custom range. It's very important to know when to identify trading ranges. And it really does help, because if you don't know that price is chopping around right now, you may be a little bit in a difficult situation because you might take unnecessary losses when you could just sit out. Right now, when I draw a range, it's indicating that price is going through some conflicts and it's best to stay out unless those elements occur in my trading. Let me just turn this heater down. It's getting a little bit warm now. All right, so I'm going to speed this up. One thing I love about this Forex tester is I can speed this up. I'm going to speed this up. Remember, every bar is 3 minutes. And I'm just looking for, like I said, a reversal back towards the downside, or I'm going to be looking for a breach of the range parameters, the edges. You see, it's kind of just moving sideways. That's not good. It's just sit on your hands, be patient. You could see bars like this happen right now, any moment. And that's indicating we have some potential push. There's also some high impact news coming out later in the day. So I like to just check that out. As long as it's not monetary policy or FOMC or non-farm payroll, none of that, it should be safe enough to trade. And there's consumer sentiment. Yeah, nothing crazy, just high impact, normal high impact. And yeah, it's safe to trade today. So assessing the news coming out ahead of time, it does help. It's kind of like a hazard sign on the road. It kind of tells you if something is coming up that you should be aware of. Yesterday, it was ECB monetary policy. So that is super high impact. And I don't like trading before that. CPI, same thing. If it's showing choppiness and stuff before that, I prefer to stay out. Let me just check this Google Meet. Okay, everything is still recording. Beautiful. And yeah, let's continue to trade alongside this. So I'm going to speed this up right now. We're breaking the lower end of that range. But for me, I like to see a reversal coming back towards upside or price continue to breach and drop on down further. But we are next to the daily lows. So I'm not going for any shorts right now because we're so close to daily lows. I need to see price at least break those daily lows or reject this range lows and show a reversal back to the upside. And that's going to be my first trade. So I am already anticipating my first trade. All these bars are 3 minutes. So that's what I love about this software. It's been 40 minutes into my session, and I was able to cover all of that within a few minutes. We're reversing back towards the upside of that range now, and I'm looking for enough thrust. So I like to see, make sure that the magnitude and the velocity is matched with my trade. So right now, this is very low magnitude, but it is triggering a northbound trade. It is triggering a buy, but I don't like this magnitude. Magnitude is very low. I'm going to pause this right now because we skipped through several minutes. So it's okay to pause it, take a little breather. But I want to explain this. Normally, I would just keep this going. I would just probably slow it down. So it'll basically show a few seconds at a time. But I'm going to pause it, just explain this with y'all. This is a trigger. This is an RB North. But the reason why I don't want to take this trigger is because the velocity is very low. But I can take this trigger. It's just, why would I take this trigger? I need to measure this and make sure that there's no other red flags. So right now, this trigger would happen about 6 pips, 7.5 pips. So I would put about 7.8, and I'll probably go for 15 or more. So I'm getting ready to potentially take this trade, and this may or may not be a winner. Let's see. Like I said, the velocity is just a little bit low, but that's the only red flag I have. It's okay. It's still a trigger. But did I see slowing coming on in? Yes. Do I see it's kind of on the lows of the day and it's rejecting as well? Yes. And so I have various reasons, but I need to be conservative on my entry. So right now, as the bar is still unfolding, if price can go above the current 3-minute highs, I'll press the buy button and I'll have maybe like an 8-pip stop loss, because I'm going to be a little bit late to this trade. And I'll go for about, you can see it's been going for about 1.5 R total. But if it does not trigger back to the highs of this bar, that was just telling me that it's a false trigger and it's choppier than normal. But because we have some good price action for the day, I'm getting ready to trade. If it goes just another tick or two higher, press that buy button. So let's see. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So this is me trading in real time right now. I broke down everything. It's my RB North. It's a trend, the start of a trend. So TCs, there's a catalyst that brings the TCs. Like, what is a trend starts when there's a prior trend that ends in the opposite direction. So there's a counter wave, there's an impulsive wave. A new trend starts when that counter wave becomes an impulsive wave. And this is like the start of that trend. So I pop up and I'm going in. I'm waiting. these rules. This is my conservative type of trading, just because I do have a little bit of a conflict right now. I would like to see stronger buyers coming into this range right now, and I don't see that. So let me just wait. I do have enough conviction if price does pop on up, and this is ticking. This is ticking actually faster than normal still. So these are still 3-minute bars, and I'm still kind of breaking this down faster than normal. But if this was in real time, this wouldn't even be ticking this fast. But for the sake of the video, yes, I'm doing that. So look at it's pushing on up. It's telling me buyers are getting more in control. Maybe I'll take this trade north. Maybe I'll skip it if the seller is coming in strong. Google Meet is asking if I'm still in the meeting. Let me just stay in the call. I don't want it to end my recording. Back to what I was doing. So I'm going to press that resume button. I need to see it break last minute highs. Wow, that 3-minute. Okay, there we go. My risk is only 1%, and I'm waiting. I could speed this up, but these are critical times where I'm looking at the ticks, tick by tick. I need to see, and it's up. There we go. That's not good. That's telling me sellers are a lot stronger than I thought. So I need to see that conviction. I need to make sure that buyers are really there. So this is not good. And I could have been in this long right now, but because I said the buyers were kind of coming in weak, I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm still down to take a buy, but I need to see that last minute high taken out just because it was just a little bit weak. I do see sellers were slowing. So from this last down wave, it was about 20 pips, 19 to 20 pips. And then there was another down wave. It was about 17 pips. Sellers did kind of slow. But look, it's whipsawing right now. It's not good. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So you can actually see I stood out of that trade. I was really close to getting into it, but this is not good. Did have a little conflict. It's whipsawing. I may still take a buy if it does trigger on up past its minute highs, but I need to just see that conviction. So just a moment. Because at that point, it's telling me that sellers were strong for a couple minutes, but they're not strong enough to push it on down to hit those stops. That's enough conviction if buyers step back in for me to take a buy. So I'm looking at this tick by tick, not necessarily tick by tick, but you understand, get the gist of it. And yeah, buyers are coming back into control. So why not? If it happens on this next bar, I'm taking that buy. If not, then I'm going to just leave this all alone because it's too much conflicts, too many conflicts. So see buyers coming in, nice greens coming in. It's not good enough. It needs to show more evidence. I always look for evidence on the chart. This is what I mean. Nice, pushing on up. We can get on up into that higher zone of this current up wave. Then I am in. I'm game on this. I'm taking that, but start pushing on down some more. It was a good up. See how I slow it down, but it's not fully slowed down. It's a slowed down a little bit buy. So I'm convinced I took the trade. Stop loss is there. Target is at the higher end of this range. I'm going to get out before my 2-to-1 is hit. If I take a loss, totally fine. I'm going to just leave it alone. It's just indicating price is a little bit more difficult to trade for my strategies than I would like. And that's totally fine to accept a loss. Once I'm in a trade, though, I am now fully convinced because I have all of these parameters. This is what I mean by a more conservative entry on days like this or specific situations like this where I might have like 1 or 2 minor conflict. This was just a minor conflict. Everything else did align. That's why I was down to take the trade. But like I said, I would love to see more magnitude and velocity coming into that. But you're not really going to get a picture perfect trade that often. So for me, this was not, I just look for, are most things working out? Are there any major red flags, such as stop loss being too big? That's what I look for. If it's just a minor conflict, like it could use a little bit more thrust, but isn't on the edge of this range. No, it's not on the edge of the range. Everything else does check out. Why not? Maybe, maybe not. As you can see, I'm currently in a little bit of a drawdown. Bummer. I can speed it up, but I don't want to speed up too much because I want to see how my emotions are while I'm in this trade. I want to assess how I'm feeling, if I'm nervous. I have reasons to get out of a trade. I have reasons to trail my stops. All of this supports my emotions while I'm in a trade. So I'm trailing my stop once I'm 1 hour in the money. So if I'm risking 8 pips, I don't trail my stop to break even until I'm up 8 pips. So once price hits around here, 1.06319, then I'm going to trail the break even. It prevents me from trailing my stops too close to market and getting prematurely trailed out too soon before it starts taking off. That's why I use that 1 hour rule, because before I used to trail it too soon because I'm nervous. I don't want to lose the, I might be up $13. I don't want to lose what I already gained. And those are emotions that conflict with my trading performance. And so I have these rules, and I only create these rules by experience. So they're my own rules. They might have been modified from someone with experience in the past that you can always just take ideas from other traders and make it your own. That's just what happens when you trade. You can see this is raw performance. I don't know if it's going to be winner or not, but I do take this all the time. I trade all the time. So I kind of have an intuition that guides me as well. I kind of know when a trade is working out and know when it's getting ugly. At this point, I still don't know. I'm very just in the gray area. I would like it to go on up more at this point. I would like to see a better thrust in the money. So I'm going to just be paying attention to this as it's ticking around my entry. And yeah, I can't touch nothing yet, though. I can't do anything. That's my rule, unless I'm up 1 hour or I just allow it to hit my stop loss because it needs to mature. I need to give the market room and time to move. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit just because it's just one trade. And right now I'm in my 2nd hour of trading. So it's 20:55 on Friday. I don't know how many trades I'm going to be able to take today, but this is 1 hour worth of trading and I finally get an entry. I don't know if it's going to work out, y'all. It's just me trading in real time in front of y'all. Being fully transparent. I don't want to just show winners all the time either because it's going to look fake. I want to show like it was winning. It could be a loser. I could have a loser followed by another loser, and it could be a losing day. I could have a loser followed by a winner. It could be a winning day. I could have a winner followed by another loser. It could be a break-even day. We don't know. But it's a series of trades that matter. It's not 1 or 2 trades to get caught up on. So as I'm watching this, I'm already getting ready for the next trade. I have a second chance entry, but do I want to take that? Not really if price stays below this range of lows after stopping me out. So if it stops me out and it pops on up and it triggers within that range away from the edges, I'll take that second chance northbound trade. It's called my DP Norths. But if not, and it triggers like way down below here, then I'm going to stay out because it's another conflict of interest. And you see, this is called scenario planning. I'm already prepared for what may happen next if I lose. That keeps emotions out of the picture, and I'm prepared for what happens next. So all of this matters when it comes to trading because it keeps me performing at peak levels. Having some water or something to drink on the side while you're trading. I've been talking a lot, but I'm not dehydrated. I'm just keeping it real and keeping it true with y'all. This is 3-minute bars. I would have a lot more time to just take a little break. I don't use bathroom breaks while I'm in a trade. I wait for little zones, little areas where it's like, I don't see setup for the next 5 to 10 minutes. I can go to the restroom, but yeah, that's that. So right now, price is moving on in my favor. I'm going to trail this now because it is showing me that buyers are getting stronger. It's a little bit aggressive on my exit. So what is that? About 6.8 pips. So I just trailed it. So I reduced my loss by 1 pip. I don't have my calculator in front of me, so I don't know. Don't ask me. It's probably like 12 to 15% reduction of my loss now. And I'm going to be trailing it as it gets in my favor. So that's just an advanced method. I don't want to explain that to y'all, but I can trail it whenever. I just know if price goes on down there, I don't want to hold on to that loser. Right now, we're getting closer to that 1R. See, looking for 8 pips still. So it's not necessarily up 1R yet. I can't touch this yet, but it is looking good. No euphoria, just like no fear. It can play a double-edged sword. Like, you don't want to be too happy and excited while you're in a trade. I hate those videos where people are like, oh yeah, oh my God. Oh, I made this much. I'm doing all this. Like, no, come on now. Fake emotions, or people aren't really, you're too excited. This is not gambling. This is skill. So this is one trade in a series of the next dozen trades or so. So you're always going to be trading. It's a career. You're always going to be improving. If you're not improving, there's something wrong with your life or something, and you might need to just take a break from trading for a few days or a week. Just reassess your life, make sure things are fine. But all in all, it's just a part of who I am. I trade for a living, and I need to just be calm. I don't want to have my heart racing every day trading. Like, this is not gambling. Let's continue to watch. I see these things happen all the time. We go higher than the last bar. I'm able to trail this and reduce my loss. So right here, just like that, 3.2 pips. How good does that feel to me now? It's a reward. I'm rewarding myself as it goes in my favor because I'm telling myself it's working out. And I can reduce my loss if it does go against me. That is in itself a reward. A reward doesn't always have to be making money. A reward could also be cutting losses, and that is good. So what are we up right now? I might trail this to break even shortly, 8.7 pips. So I'm going to trail this now to a little bit of profits, 0.5 pips. So I'm up, 6% of that trade. So worst case scenario now is that I'm going to be making bread. How does that feel to me? It feels awesome. It feels awesome. But I'm also going to trail this because, like I said, most trades only worked out about 1.5 pips throughout my day. So we're up about 1 pip. I'm going to trail this more aggressively now. So 1.7 pips, that's about 20%. So I'm up 0.2R. Worst case scenario. See, these are magnet levels. If we start to come there and we start to reject it, I like to collect 4.6 pips. That's 0.5R, but we're getting closer to my target. I'm up $1,500 right now. You see right there. I'm going to pause this for a second. You see, I don't like that. So it's hitting the magnet levels, but it's pulling back. For me, I'm collecting close to 1R right here. This is about 0.9R if it goes and trails me out right now. But I'm going to leave a little bit of room for the market to work out. So I'm up 1.4R. I know that if it keeps on going against me, so this is where I hesitate. I struggle around this area, and I'm trying to find good rules so I'm not closing out too soon, because this is a very strong bar, but a lot of times I close out too early before it really goes. So right now, this is just my struggle point, my personal struggle point along my journey. But I'm working on rules to keep myself. So like I said, I just trail it to about 1R. So anything below that trailing stop right now is I'm out. But I would normally close it out right here before the move is finished. And I would prematurely take profits for no reason. And I'm getting better at that. But like I said, because as I trade, I get better at understanding myself more. And this is just a habit that I'm building on. So as you can see, price is still in my favor, and I would miss out on this chunk of profits. So right now, it's making higher highs. I'm collecting at least 1R. So now you can see I'm collecting at least 8.5 pips on this trade. I'm going for that 2R or 1.8, 1.9R target. I don't know if it'll get hit. So right now, anything below this, I'm getting out. As you can see, it is starting to turn red. Let it happen. Boom. I'm officially out around 1R. You see the P&L is reflected at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to mark this off as a 1R trade. I'm going to actually do that after the video. So you're going to see in the screenshot below, but I want to continue trading. It's 21:04. This is my first hour of trading. How do I feel? I feel good. I could stop after this first hour, but I'm going to just let y'all know it's getting closer to those range highs, and it might start chopping up a bit. I want to keep this video going so you can see a full session. So if you can just stay put for a little bit longer, let me make sure the recording is there. Beautiful. It's being recorded, and I'm going to stay put just for a little bit longer, just so you can see the full session. I may or may not want to take another trade. This could be it for the day, or I can continue trading. It depends on what I'm seeing. So far, triggers have been working out. It's a beautiful setup. It worked out really nice, textbook, just like I studied and back tested. And that was one winner of the day. I avoided some potential losses by not trading in a certain direction. All the rules are there, and you can see how creating your own guidelines is critical to your trading future. Let's speed this up. I don't like any of this. It is pulling back right now, and this is a potential trigger north. But for me, let's take a look. We broke these swing highs, and we just rejected it. Remember, we're still bearish. The price did make a lower wave down here, and we just broke that, rejected that, and we're triggering. To me, it's just too much conflict. Along with that, price is pulling back a little bit too deep for me, and that's just a couple red flags. I'm a little exhausted. If these were 3-minute candles, I would have more time. If this was in real time, but because it's sped up, I need time to just recalibrate. I just came out of a trade that I broke down in front of y'all. So this is my real emotion, my real endurance, my real energy. I would need a few minutes to just, just pat myself on the back, say good job on following my plan. And you see, I got out at a much better price. Price is way down below, close to my entry now. And getting out at that target was optimal. You're able to see all my rules play out. This is the first time I'm doing a video like this, because a lot of times I'm doing live trading, but I don't really have time to break this down like I'm doing it now, unless you're doing a live one-on-one day trading session with me. This is how I do it in front of you. But if you're seeing a random YouTube recording of a live day, I don't have time to break that down because I'm looking at multiple pairs and I'm in like game mode. This is more like I'm able to pause it. I'm able to speed it up. In my live videos of me actually trading like stocks or EURUSD, you'll notice that I don't like taking those trades and breaking everything down in front of you, because it will be real money on the line, and my psychology is way different at that time. So I'm gonna just show y'all, if I didn't get out and I was greedy, what greed does. Greed, it would take away all my profits, and I can hope it goes back in my favor, but it may not. And this is another trigger. This is a TC North, but I have conflict. So you see that the trigger's on up TC North. Let's measure that last bar size. It was okay. 6 pips on the 3-minute is solid. About a 7.5 with spread included. You see, I automatically include spread so I can know my position size right off the rip. So 8 pip stop loss would be ideal. 7.5 is a little bit tight. I can get away with that too, but y'all understand at this point. But like I said, the pullback was a little bit deep. We rejected those range highs. I'm not range, the wave swing highs. So swing highs is right around here, and it triggers way down below here. You could take it, but for me, on a day like this, It's like, why did we reject that? And we were so close to the range, to the actual range highs. We're like 6 pips away. That to me is a double conflict. It's telling me that, and also the buyers are matching the sellers. So you see the sellers, I measured it was like, what, 20 pips, about 18, 19 pips. And then the buyers, measure this, when this wave started, was about 15 pips. The buyers are actually weaker than the sellers. And along with the other conflicts that I have, these are minor conflicts. But you know, getting close to the range highs, but these are major conflicts that the buyers are weaker than the sellers. And we do have a recent down wave that made a new swing low, as you can see. So that's another conflict. So it could work out. And if it does, what I like to do is, like I said, I kick greed out the window. So I'm not greedy. I'm not trying to catch every trade, but I'm just catching the highest quality setups. And if I have 2 to 3 conflicts in my setup before taking it, I like to stay out. But this may work out. This is a TC North. It is moving, but I did have those conflicts. So I like to stay out. Just not enough momentum. We already had like weak buying coming in before my entry. Like I noted, it was already not a strong velocity and magnitude. Followed by that, this up wave wasn't even as strong as the sellers. So those are that's 3 red flags minimum. And I stay out. Right now, I would be in that long and I would be up maybe 1 hour in the money, almost. Not even 5 pips, I'd be up. And my stop loss is 7.5. So it would be trailed right around here. So I probably would be risking about 4.5 pips. But you can see, look at prices pulling back. It's whipsawing. Maybe we go to my target. Maybe we hit that stop. Oh, that's not good. It's about to hit that stop. Uh-oh. You see that? Stop loss would have been hit. So because I have a checklist, I have a limit to my conflicts, and that keeps me out of low quality trade setups like what just happened. And that's what I call a low quality trade setup. Just because you get a trigger and you have a setup doesn't mean you take it. This is the fine detail that most don't want to do. When you come and you learn with me, you don't want, a lot of people, they don't want to do this type of work. And so they'll take a trade that they say, hey, Baja said that's a TC. Why didn't it work? Because there's conflicting factors. There's elements that you did not study yet. This is the hard work that I earned. So I went into my back testing hours like I'm doing now, and I did that work. I showed y'all, I did that work for you, and you're able to see that. So let's speed this up. That's a red flag. Maybe we get a DP North. So this will be the second trade right here. Boom. So the problem with this is the stop loss is a little bit large. That stop loss is about 7 pips plus spread, about 8.5 pips. We're getting close to that news, which happens at 22 o'clock, which is actually the end of my session. And that's about 20 minutes away. So you have enough time for a move. A large stop loss followed by all the prior conflicts shouldn't even be in that trade. Right now, you can see it's whipsawing. It may work out, but, I would be forced to take that trade pretty much. Everything is solid on that DP North. So it may actually work out now, but I would have incurred that 1 hour loss, which would have brought my day to break even. And I would be in this trade right now. And if this doesn't work out, now I'm at a net loss for the day of -1 hour. So staying out of that altogether keeps me out of this little confusing, conflicting area. It's grindy right now. It's whipsawing heavy. It's showing more signs of chop. And for me, it's also tied up in the middle of a range. And like I said, it's just a trade that you have to decide on taking or not. Would I have taken it? More than likely, yes. But it would have been another loss. So it was about 7.5 hit stop loss if I just enter that. And it happened on 1 bar too. That's one thing I like to note. So it pulled back and it triggered on 1 bar. Normally, if that happens in 1 bar, I wouldn't take it. That's another rule, and that's a major conflict. So I actually would have skipped that DP north, and I would have still had 1R loss. But just by avoiding that trade, I stay out of this mess. And it's all building up because it's indecision. Chop usually happens when there's indecision prior to a major announcement, and there is some high impact news, consumer sentiment at 22 o'clock. Right now, the price is chopping up. We got ranges within the ranges. So let's speed this up. I'm officially done with my trading day. It's a 1-hour day, and I'm proud of my performance. Let me just put this right there. So y'all seen just about everything. Y'all are spoiled, y'all, I swear. Oh, here we go. Yeah, y'all see just about everything. And that's my day. That's my trading day, 2 hours. And that's how I would perform on a normal day. But let's speed this up. Let's see what happens after my limit is reached. So I'm already seeing chop. When I have daily limits, because if I am encountering a rough time, you got to take breaks, it's like any sport, you got to take breaks. And my endurance is only for up to 2 hours. You can see that high impact broke that range highs. It's currently seeing if it wants to stay above that range highs or if it wants to start to reverse and pull back and trigger southbound. So I'm just going to break this down real quick, and then I'll end the video. It's kind of lengthy, but those of you that take value into this, I know you'll appreciate this. So this is a RT South potentially happening right now. I don't like this. It did one of those pullback. It's a little bit off, but it could still trigger down south. It's just, let's see. Definitely wouldn't buy it right now because it's triggering. Oh, there we go. More than likely it's going to go down, but I don't like that. See, not predicting. This is not prediction. This is just rules. This is a systematic way of reading the markets. It's price action 101. So there we go. Would have been up 1R. You see, rules are rules, guidelines are guidelines. It becomes second nature. I can just read this all day. This is on maximum speed right now. So yeah, and 1R trailed out aggressively. Probably would have made about 1R on that trade. Looking for it to drop on down more. Another sell off, but wouldn't take that because the pullback is not valid. Let's see if that sell even works out or if it starts to chop up some more. Remember, I wait for a 2-bar pullback. Those of you that know, this is not a 2-bar pullback or a pause. So it may or may not work out. That is a trigger, but it's not valid. It's a 1-bar trigger. So let's see that stop loss more than likely get hit. I'm not predicting. You hear my words. I say more than likely, and I say potentially. It did hit. So boom. You can see more dubs would have been taken in this time. This is another 47 minutes that I just sped up in a couple of minutes. So you see, I would have took another sell-off right here, and I would have been up another 1R or close to it. So I would be up almost 2R for the day, but that's overtime. My endurance at that time is shot. I am not able to speed up 40 minutes in a couple minutes in real time. I would have to sit through here in my chair, and I would have to just, and I got to use the restroom and a bunch of other things. My mind is kind of going other places, but that's it. We're getting close to that lunch hour. It's about an hour away from New York lunch or midnight in China. I would already be done with the day. Very solid trading for the day. All my rules are there. You can see everything there. You can see the trade history one more time. So you can see everything that I just did for you. It was just for y'all, yo. Like, this is also for my own trading, back testing. This helps my performance. This helps me. So primarily it's for me, but I also like to share this to y'all. Forex tester has a little tendency to be a little complicated with this. With these buttons, like, you see how I'm like trying to move that mouse. So I'm done with the day. I just want to maximize that so you can see. So this is back in the day. You can see I was taking L's, but I did start off with a 50K deposit. Let me minimize that. So yeah, 50K deposit. This was back in January of that year. This is 2 months worth of data, by the way, 2.5 months if I traded on the regular. But this took several months because, like I said, I don't use Forex Tester every week. I just use it sometimes. Yeah, you can see collected a little bit over 1R, and that's awesome. Then there was my prior trades. You can see that it's much better. It looks much better, the P&L recently. And this was, I probably took these trades back in November. I didn't really, this is my first time really using Forex Tester in December. Now it's January, but yeah, you can see prior to that, I had losses. I had a series of losses. And all in all, because I'm consistent altogether, you only know you're consistent when you tell yourself that and you see it in your results. No one can tell you when you're consistent or not, but all in all, very valid. Everything is there. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Yes, this is a beautiful recording. It's going to be posted in my trading journal. It's going to be updated shortly, but great day. See the day of the week right here, 317. That was the one trade I took today. Didn't trade 316, but you can see 315 I did trade. That is, and then the trade in my recent blog is also posted, and that was the recent trading journal entry. So now you see everything. I'm gonna just mark my notes off, and I will upload this to my website. It's on tradeforpips.com, and you click on trading journal, and you can see this entry on the entry for January 1st, 2025. It's been a pleasure sharing this with y'all. I'm not going to always record this type of session because I like to just do this on my personal time. But yeah, I think it'll help a lot of you. And if you have any questions, shoot me a email or message me on social. I have my email on my website all over. Also at the bottom of the trading journal entry, it'll be there. fahapips@tradeforpips.com. And y'all trade safe this week. It is the New Year's. It's going to be a little bit tricky, maybe. Two-day trading week for me starting tomorrow. And yeah, signing out. Peace, everyone.